Let me see here. There we go. What's up, guys? How we doing? I'm just gonna put a quick reminder here in the free chat for people because I never hop in there. Cool. All right. How's everyone doing tonight? How do we do today in the markets? All right, YouTube, Twitter, those are good. We're live. Good morning, Farouk. Have an interesting day. I'm excited for tomorrow. I do think that that there could be a really solid play on NVDA. What's up, T Sharp? What's up, Stockboy 82? Finish green. That's good. Yeah, so we finally got that pullback on Tesla I've been talking about for, I don't know, the last 2 days. It wasn't a clean one. Obviously, I wish I could have got the day trade on it today. I ended up catching it later in the day just because I was around. Obviously, I wasn't live trading at the time for y'all. No audio. No, I guess only YouTube can get it. All right. Gotta restart my Discord. Anyone listening on YouTube or Twitter right now, we do have a 5-day premium free trial going on. But you get inducted on Mondays. There we go, Discord. You can hear me now, I'm sure. I was talking the whole time. I don't get it. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So yeah, I was talking about Tesla. Now everyone can hear me. Great. All right, cool. So yeah, I was talking about Tesla. We finally had that pullback today. It wasn't the cleanest thing in the world. I did think it would have been a little more aggressive, but obviously I wish I could have gotten the day trade today with you guys in the live stream, but I ended up catching it later in the day and made some money, which was nice. So sometimes, you know, when I'm at my desk and I see something that I like, you know, I take it. It wasn't big size by any means because it was literally like noon Eastern time. But T Sharp, you think Tesla will continue to pull back? You know, I don't know. Honestly, I could see it bouncing from here in the short term, but you know, again, this was a really big move, basically all around Trump getting elected. So, you know, I don't think this is just going to go straight back to highs. I could easily see it come back down to 300. You know, it's going to be tough to say, but I think 310 to 320 is going to be an area that, you know, maybe we consolidate in, then bounce from there. But if we do come straight down to 300, that's kind of where maybe I would look to take a really small long position, look for a dip buy. Just because, you know, that means we've dropped 60 points from its high in a matter of 2 days. So other than that, you know, it's tough to say. I think today was a decent pullback that it really needed to see. Could it bounce? Sure. I don't think you're going to see a bounce straight back to 360, but it's Tesla, so it's kind of hard. It's hard to tell. It's hard to predict. So I thought we would be done around 310, 320, and we ended up going 40 more points to 360. So, you know, again, it's Tesla. So good question, though. It's definitely going to be something I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to wait to get into my NVIDIA trade idea with you guys for at least another like 15 minutes to let some people come in here. But other than that, because it's going to be what I'm looking at tomorrow, and since I'm not live trading, in the Discord. I wanted to make sure you guys know why and how I'm looking at NVIDIA. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but I'll take questions now or tickers, whatever you guys want. Yeah, Dogecoin may run with Elon. I mean, look, at the end of the day, when you got Bitcoin and Ethereum running, the meme coins are going to follow too, right? No matter what. Obviously, some are going to be bigger than others, but it's just like when you got SPY and the Q's running. Yeah, no, I know, Stickman. It's just kind of the rule of thumb. It's just like SPY and QQQ act toward these, mega cap names. I just wanted to point that out. But Carrie, you can't see my screen. Can everyone else see it? I know YouTube and Twitter can. It's just spinning. Huh. Let me restart it for y'all. Maybe try it now. What is going on over at Discord? They need to get this stuff fixed before they IPO. Cool. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't even looking at my screen. I was just kind of sitting here talking to you guys before I got into it. But as always, this is a free lesson, so I don't have any sort of material prepared for y'all. But this is a good chance for free people to ask things about the chat room, things about being new to trading, all that. So it's free reign on these Tuesday nights. I've had so many issues with Discord streams recently. Yeah, that's really weird. Farouk, you think I talk too much? Well, I got to keep things moving. Oh, not me. Okay. What's the best platform to trade? So, good question. A lot of people download Robinhood just because like the user interface is really easy. But if you're going to be an active trader, as in like a day trader, Robinhood's not going to be where you want to be, just because their fills aren't amazing. But if you're a swing trader, it could work. If you're looking to day trade, however, I always advocate for Think or Swim. That's what you're looking at right now. I use Think or Swim for the first 2 to 3 years of my trading to buy and sell on as well. And then I got to the point where I wanted to pay a little bit for a better buying and selling platform. I think I pay $100 a month for it. But I still use Thinkorswim for charts because I think it's by far the best charting software you can get, and it's totally free. I don't pay anything for it. I buy and sell strictly because it's interesting. I pay $100 or $115 a month. I know a lot of you have already heard that before, but I pay about $100 a month for Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation, and their charts are god awful. I hate them. I'll never use them unless I am forced to, if I'm traveling or something. So the buying and selling tools on there, which are pretty advanced, they're really, really solid. I use level 2 on there as well, but you have to pay for it. So again, for anyone that's beginning, I always advocate for Thinkorswim. I know some people use Webull and they like Webull. I think there's no problem with that at all, but I've never used it. I do think Thinkorswim's a little more advanced, which does mean the learning curve is going to be a little bit longer, but to me, it's a more well-rounded platform than Webull. But again, I've never used Webull, so sometimes the simpler the better, especially for new guys. So I hope that answered your question, Gerald T. Yeah. Very basic question here. Difference between the different trading strategies, swing, scalper, day trader, etc. Yeah, 100%. So I do have a lesson on this in premium, so I'll kind of go over this briefly because it's fairly easy. Swing trading is simply buying and selling stocks or options over one day. Okay, so you got to think, if you buy and sell something within the same day, it's considered a day trade. Okay, if you buy and sell something over one day, it's a swing. So I can swing overnight, meaning I buy it this morning and I sell it tomorrow morning, or I buy it this morning and I sell it in a week or a month or whatever it is. Anything under a year hold time is considered a swing trade. Anything over a year is, kind of considered like investing. Day trading and scalping are just a little bit different. Day trading is buying and selling within the same day. That could be buying and selling within 30 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, 5 hours, whatever. Market open all the way to market close. Scalping is going to be when you're buying and selling typically under 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So it's just really quick trading. Does that make sense for all? Yeah, 100%. It's a good question. Evan GP, how about Wealth Simple? I don't know what that is. Is that a trading software? I don't think that's a very big name, but I haven't heard of that before. But I also don't really research any other trading softwares just because I'm very happy with what I have. When I do trade at the trading firm, they have their own proprietary software, which is private. No one else other than people within that company can use it. It's called Great Trade, GR8 Trade. I'm sure you can look it up for anyone that here in Discord. Great Trade. It's insane. I mean, you think Interactive Brokers is advanced? This thing is unbelievable. Heavy car is old, yeah. It's very solid for being public, but if you guys look up Great Trade, I'm sure there's pictures online. It's freaking crazy. If IBKR, Trader Workstation has 1,000 tools, this thing has 100,000, to put it into perspective. Zero tax for all trades. That's interesting. Sounds like Robinhood. There's zero commissions. I'll take a look at it, Evan. Yeah, and then there's NFTs. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Farouk. I missed out on a ton of money on Friday. I just did not think it was going to do that at all. Pretty insane. But I made a bunch of money on that Thursday, so I was pretty happy. Pretty happy with it. Wow, 315 call was $60 and went to 1380. Unbelievable. Those are some of the days where you can just make a ton of money. But also it's like those are the home run once in a lifetime kind of things, I don't want you guys to try to look for those trades because they're just not realistic. If you get lucky enough to catch one, even half of it, it's really, really good. I mean, think about me, Farouk. I bought a 300 call when Tesla pulled back to 275. Okay, you remember that? We talked about it. I sold the rest of it. I have 4 contracts for like $500 or something. And I sold one of them at like 298, and I sold the rest of them at 299 and 50 cents. Right, beautiful sell for that day. Thinking, you know what, I caught $25 on this. I made 200%. I made $4,000 off 2,000, which is not a big position for me at all. I could have made 20. If I held that position for one more day, I could have made $20,000. Right, so. I was there for it. I timed it perfectly. I had a beautiful buy, and my sell was just halfway, right? It was peak sell for that day when we hit 300. And I was like, you know what, 200%, $4,000. It's hard to leave that on the table overnight again, considering what happened today is what I thought we may see that next day. And we ended up going another, to 320 that day. Then we ended up going all the way up to almost a 360 the next. So I didn't even do the math on the next day, and I'm not going to because I would lose my mind. But it is what it is. Evan GP, yes, he did the same thing. So I mean, look, it's hard to be mad at that. I think 300 was a very solid target. Um, it is what it is. I would rather be consistent than really try to go for those home runs, because if I would have been up 4,000 the next day, it comes back down and I'm only up $1,000, I would have been really mad. So I've had a good handful of trades that I've done this exact same thing on, but it's part of it. And the reason that I'm still here and the reason that I'm still profitable is because I don't go for those massive trades. I go for the consistency of it. Yeah, Evan, I agree. What are you trading tomorrow, Ethan? So, I mean, obviously, we'll be looking at Tesla. I don't really have a specific trade idea on this. If it does keep selling off, I don't know that I'm that interested, just because I do think there's going to be some guys who missed this move wanting to dip by it. If we see another move down to like 310, anywhere from 310 to 300, I think I would like to take maybe 2-week out calls again. That is a bit risky, and obviously, if I do that, it's going to be a small position again, maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000, full position there. But just kind of looking for a bounce up to maybe 330, 350, if that does happen. But I want to have enough time on those contracts in case there is a day or two of slow movement. But my main watch tomorrow is going to be NVIDIA, so I think I could probably get into that now, just because I think most of you guys are going to be here. So NVIDIA. So before I get into the technicals, let's look at what happened with, let's see here. So we saw Tesla and DJT down pre-market. We saw Coinbase down a little bit pre-market. What I see happening here is money that was in Tesla and DJT and Coinbase for these massive runs. To me, profit taking happened. People took their money out and then they threw it into some other names like NVIDIA and stuff that were on dips. You saw NVIDIA open at 148.5 and hit a low of 143 yesterday. Right, so pretty solid move down for NVIDIA. It ended up bouncing today. It was one of the stronger names today. You saw Google close on highs nearly. Meta had a really good opening drive play, but ended up closing lower. So I do think there's going to be, some money coming out of Tesla and Coinbase, maybe, and these, Trump trade names, and going into the a little bit more stable names for, the meantime. Yeah, Stickman, I did see that, and that 100%. I actually just saw it on my phone. So, what's the name? Government efficiency, is that what it's called? This is my last point I'm going to make here, before I get into the technicals. Yeah, so government efficiency, I think. So Elon did get appointed by that from Trump. Obviously, Trump is still not president yet, right? Until sometime in January. But obviously, the market is forward looking, right? The market isn't reacting on what it thinks it's going to go on right now. It's reacting to what people think is going to happen in the future. So, yeah, so he's basically just going to come in and clean house in the government. But regardless of that, he's going to have a substantial position within the government. So that's going to be good for any of his companies, right? I mean, regardless of what he does, I don't think Elon's going to do anything necessarily illegal, but he's now going to have a substantial seat, right, in the cabinet. So Tesla could see the bounce tomorrow, and I'll be looking at that. But back to NVIDIA here. I was looking at NVIDIA today for a 150 break. We opened up a little bit lower than I wanted to see here. We made a really solid push up to 150, and then we kind of pulled back. We did close decently well. So if NVIDIA can open up tomorrow around 149, we got a beautiful kind of bull flag that we broke here. 150 all-time high, 150, beautiful kind of whole number, round number that people are going to be looking at. There should be a nice wall there. I'm not looking for a crazy move to like 155, but if we can get some sort of opening range break off the open, guys, through, so the high back here is 149.77. Today's high is going to be 149.65. So basically right off of each other. So ideally we open up at like 149. We get a little pullback to like 148, 148.50. See that opening range break, and then we can get that 150 break. And this could easily go $1 or $2. Could it go to 155, 100%? Am I going to be looking to hold that trade for a while? No. So for you guys, if I'm not live trading tomorrow for y'all, just know that's what I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be sending out, a screenshot of it wherever it is in the morning. Obviously, in my coaching corner, I'll be talking about that with y'all. So keep that in mind. NVIDIA is my top watch. Going to be looking at the 150 calls on that. And if we can see an opening range break into that, I'm going to be all over it. I'm not saying this is some sort of like crazy A+ setup, but to me, it's definitely an A setup. It's a good one. Doesn't mean I'm going in, super, super heavy. I mean, anything could happen, but it will be a full size position for me. And I am going to be looking to take this trade tomorrow. So keep that in mind. This is, there's really not much else to go about it other than NVIDIA was one of the stronger names today. Tesla had its pullback. I think the market, had a little bit of a pullback today too. So, SPY was red a little bit. So if we can just get another, nice little green day in the overall market, NVIDIA can go on a run, right? Through all-time highs, guys. What does that mean? That means anyone who's short this stock is going to be red. So it could cause a little bit of a short squeeze. And maybe we see 152 to 155 area, which would be really, really nice. On a Wednesday, right? We're not too late in the week where theta is going to be that big of a deal for weekly contracts. It is going to be a little bit of a factor. So I do want it to be somewhat of a quick trade. But it is a trade that I think has very high odds of happening. There will be a nice wall there. I will send in the wall in the morning to the coaching corner. And yeah, it's my top watch tomorrow for sure. Unless Tesla's up at like, 350 or something, I definitely will be trading NVIDIA. And even if Tesla's up there, I still think I want to trade NVIDIA and then maybe go try to pick up some bits and pieces on Tesla if I can. So that's going to be my game plan for tomorrow. Any questions on that? Do y'all agree with me? I would love some contradictions here if y'all have any, but I think that you guys that have followed me enough, I think that does make sense, right? Twitter, YouTube, y'all can ask questions as well. Basically, yeah, NVIDIA 150 calls tomorrow. As long as we can open up under 150, I'm happy. If we open up at like 145, trade probably won't happen. If we open up anywhere from 148 to 149, I'm going to be very happy. So hopefully there's no crazy move up in the market tomorrow, pre-market. But if we can just see some strength, get some sort of opening range break here, I am going to be thrilled. What percent of my due diligence is fundamental analysis versus technical? I would say that 90% of my trading is going to be technical. Well, honestly, I don't know. I mean, fundamental, it's kind of broad. Fundamental, like, am I looking at balance sheets and, really paying attention to the earnings numbers? Absolutely not, because I'm a day trader, right? But you can consider fundamental also picking up on, news, kind of thinking, the company story, like for Tesla, for example, like I would consider seeing just 10 minutes ago that, Elon got appointed as the government efficiency, chairman or whatever it was. Like to me, that would also be fundamental, right? So I can kind of take bits and pieces of most of it's news, right? Again, I'm not going into, the balance sheets or, earnings reports and listening to earnings calls and stuff like that. It's more so picking up on catalysts, bits and pieces of news that I think could move the stock. Other ways that I trade is just kind of logic. Like, I think a really great trade that I wish I took would be when Tesla sold off really hard after their delivery numbers and the whole robo-taxi thing, right? Because everything they talked about, I mean, yeah, they missed delivery numbers a little bit, but the whole robo-taxi thing, I mean, it was everything people asked for. It just didn't blow expectations out of the water, so the stock fell. To me, that would be a reason to buy. You get a massive 10% correction on the stock when really nothing bad happened. To me, that would be a logical trade. So duck, yeah, it's actually perfect. Yeah. Qualitative analysis. Yeah. So judgment based on soft or non-quantifiable data, 100%. It's actually really good. I'll use that in the future. Yeah, it's great. Gerald, how do you get me as a coach? I will get you the link right now. Discord just froze. Here's my coaching link right here. Let me know when you sign up, Gerald, just so I know. Yeah, so that is a good point, Farouk. Thanks for bringing that up. So coaching is going to be $40 a month. If you do premium, though, you get all the premium stuff that every other analyst has, and then you can also pick me as a coach as well for no extra charge. So, but again, totally fine starting with coaching and then kind of upgrading from there, just so you can kind of get the hang of things. But I will say I probably should spend more time in other channels. I do spend about 90% of my time in my coaching corner chat. That's where I'm like updating. Like if I'm not live trading, I can't type in 2 or 3 different chats at once for other people. So I will focus on my coaching students. You know, whether it's like, oh, we got a wall here. Okay, a Tesla dips to here. I'm looking to do this and that, whatever. So you know those quick things that I can't send out other places, I'll be sending in the coaching stuff. Top watch NVDA, Tesla, Meta, and Spy. Yeah, that's good. Would you buy MicroStrategy right now or wait for a pullback? Let's see. So I could probably tell you right now I'd wait for a pullback. MicroStrategy is a big holder of Bitcoin. And that's a big reason they're up so much. You know, if something goes from 250 to 370 or 360, I'm not going to be buying it there. John 333. I would look for a pullback maybe to like, you know, this 300 to 280 area. That's where I would be like, okay, for a shorter term trade, I could look to buy in here, maybe hold it for a few days and see if there's a bounce. But if you're going to trade MicroStrategy, you're going to want to, one, keep up with their news, of course. Two, I would say you want to keep up with Bitcoin pretty closely as well. Tesla's at 333, so it is up on that news. Well, if it's, I'm sure you're looking at Robinhood because the market's closed right now, so that's interesting. Thank you, Doug. I hope so. But yeah, percent. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Robinhood has that 24-hour trading. You know, the only reason I even have Robinhood downloaded on my phone is to look at that. But, you know, last night, Tesla hit like 368 pre market. It hit a high 360, or sorry, after hours, kind of overnight at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, my time. Its high pre-market was 362, and then it opened up like, I don't know, 345, 350 ish. So always take that stuff with a grain of salt. But I'm sure Tesla's at 333 because of Elon getting appointed to that spot in the government, because it did close at 328.5. So being up about $5 to me makes sense. And maybe it goes a little bit further once more people hear the news, see the news, whatever. But again, nothing matters until market open. Oh, really, Mastermind? I would love to dissect that and see, find all their flaws. But you know, if it's good, it's good. I don't really know that they'd get advanced as Think or Swim, but I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Oh, really? Weeble did that? That's pretty funny. You can do futures. Interesting. Well, we're about halfway through here, guys. Any other questions? I already went over NVIDIA, so I don't really need to go over what I'm looking at for tomorrow anymore. I mean, possibly Google, but to me, it's not as exciting as NVIDIA will be. So with the Musk news, will Tesla fly tomorrow? It definitely can, right? I mean, any sort of semi-positive news on Tesla could rip the stock, right? Tesla's kind of a stock of its own. It's hard to use logic on a stock that's not logical. Yeah, emotions are going to move anything. It's a stock that is heavily volatile. One, because they kind of have the cult behind it, right? The Tesla cult. And two, it's just a name that's been known for the volatility. So even though the moves don't make sense, traders and a lot of money gets washed around on Tesla just because it is volatile, right? There is a lot of money to be made on quick moves. You know, it could be Elon Musk is running for president, something that probably wouldn't happen. It could be, I don't know, that was probably a bad example, but I think you get my point. No matter how big or small the news is, no one really knows what Tesla's going to do. So if Tesla gets some volume and some traction, I mean, the stock can move 15%, which for I think Tesla passed $1 trillion at one point. You got to think to move a $1 trillion, a $1 trillion company 10%, right? To move it up or down 10%, that'll take $100 billion, right? $100 billion in market cap. That doesn't mean $100 billion just traded within that day. There could be $500 billion traded within that day. 336 now. Well, it looks like we're coming back up on all Robinhood. It's pretty crazy. We'll see where it opens. But yeah, I mean, this market is just unbelievable. All right, Farouk, adios. Thoughts on Rocket Lab? It beat earnings and seems space is the next narrative. Yeah, so Trump did talk about space. Rocket Labs did do good today on earnings. Up quite a bit here, about $4. So pretty solid move. I do think that this could probably go higher. I think Trump is definitely not against space, study or engineering or anything like that. Let's see what ASTS is doing. They have earnings pretty soon. ASTS is another space company. It's been booming. But yeah, I mean, is it going to be a stock that I'm going to be like looking, have my top watch tomorrow? No, but I do think that this could go higher. I do. $18 is over a pretty solid resistance level here. Let me back this out a little bit more. All-time high is 21. The big resistance I see here is at $17 and we're above that. So we're going to be opening up tomorrow around this area, right? So maybe we pull back in to $16.5 to $17, kind of like consolidate in this area, and then we make that move higher to all-time highs, right? That's kind of the move I would look for. Could it just open up and go straight for all-time highs? 100%. John, I don't know. It's not a stock I'm super familiar with, but it is something to watch. So yeah. Any other questions on what I'm looking at for tomorrow? Do you guys have any other tickers you want me to look at? Any this is your chance to ask me anything. We can stay here for the full hour, or we can, wrap things up a little bit earlier tonight. I know it's late for a lot of people, so I don't know. I'm almost thinking about moving the lesson time just because it is late, and I feel like I could get more traction in here, considering I have close to 80 people in the mornings, but we'll see. PR, yeah. I mean, I'm not leaving yet, but have to run. All right, you take care then, PR. Oklo and GSN, yeah, sure. So I think OKLO, didn't they have earnings? What do they have them tomorrow? Maybe. Nope, 2 days on Thursday. So yeah, I mean, obviously this has been a runner. What I'm seeing here instantly, just kind of technical wise, is I'm kind of seeing like an uptrend here, and then you kind of have a little top trend here that we did try to break through and failed. So, and then you can draw some lines here. Like $20 to me is going to be an important support. Even $22 could be considered one, and then you also have like $25, and then all-time high 28. So those are levels I would mark out. So you obviously want to see them hold these supports, and $25 going to be important. Other than that, not a stock I'm looking to day trade, John, but as long as it can hold 20 to 22, I think that this could maybe go higher. GSN, don't know anything about it. I don't even have that ticker on here. Is it about Goldman Sachs or GSN? Next one's KULR. I talked about this earlier today on my earnings stream. This is a 50-cent stock, so I'm not, it's really not something I know a whole lot about. So I really don't know that I wanted to talk about it a whole lot, just because I'm not a small cap trader, so I don't want to give you any bad advice there. But obviously 50 cents is going to be a resistance. 40 cents is going to be a pretty solid support. Anything in between that, I think this chops around. So if you're a buyer, I would look anywhere from 40 to 43 cents and see if this can go up and touch 50 and maybe go further. Ethan, can I borrow 5K and I will pay you back when I make it back in trading? Well, Mastermind, we may have to talk about that a little more in depth, but we'll see. Overall market question: with as fast as we are going up, everything comes down, right? I know everything is super bullish right now, but it makes me nervous. Yeah, so that to me, that's the perfect mindset, T Frost. A lot of people want to buy things when they're already up. So, this kind of a rule of thumb is be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful, right? That's kind of like buying things when they're down, selling things when they're up. There's a couple points I can make on this. Like, I remember when Bitcoin was at 65 to 68,000, which was its peak, the last, bull run. And I had a bunch of my friends asking me, because they knew that I was I'm into this stuff. Ethan, should I buy Bitcoin? Ethan, should I buy the stock market? Ethan, should I do this? Even my dad's like, hey, I think I need to put money into Bitcoin. I mean, this thing's going to be great. And I was like, that to me is like all the red flags I needed. And I was like, guys, this is what I look for. Don't do it. Don't do it. Sure enough, the peak happened the day after, and it dropped all the way down to 17,000. Right. So, again, like Tesla's been running pretty big. I've been telling like my chat, like, look, guys, be careful, be careful. One of these days it's going to come down. Today was kind of that day. It sounds like it's kind of getting saved with some news with Elon getting picked from Trump. But again, it went from 360 to 330 to 325. Really, I mean, that's a freaking big move. So T Frost, again, I think you have a beautiful mindset on that. When you see things just roaring, going higher and higher and higher, the last thing you want to do is try to be buying up there, because that's when guys who have already caught the move are selling. And that's where things, pull back and you can get crushed. So wait for a pullback to get involved. Be patient, right? Don't be frantic over 1 or 2 days of crazy movement in the market, right? I think the next 4 years will be exciting. There should be some really great trading going on. Even into the end of the year. So again, don't let 1 or 2 days totally determine, a big position. If you want to like kind of do bits and pieces of a position here and there, like if you're like, okay, I want to invest $10,000. Okay, well maybe start with 500 or $1,000. Test the waters. Things come down another 10%, throw in another 1,000, $2,000. You know what I mean? So I love that. That's actually really, really great. And I hope, more people think that way, because I think let me see. I think I sit in my coaching group here. Someone who I love and I follow a lot. Let me see here. Maybe I didn't send it in. Y'all should follow Umar Ashraf on Instagram. I learned a ton from him in the beginning, and I still love watching his stuff. Yeah, I didn't send it in, but it's on his Instagram. He's great. What are your long holds, TK? Unfortunately, I don't really have any of a long term. I get scared doing it because I feel like the market is all time high. And during the bear market, that's kind of where I was like, all right, I need to start looking at things to buy. And I was still thinking we were going to see some market crash, right? Like some banks were defaulting, stuff was getting really bad. And I was waiting for like that last move down, and it never came. We just slowly started going back up, and now our SPY is at 600. So obviously, long-term buying, right? It's never too late or too early, but I do I do need to, but I don't know that I want to put a big chunk of money into the market, especially right now, when it's at all-time highs. But if I were to do long-term holds, for me, it's going to be more of like these bigger tech names, right? Like Tesla would definitely be one, NVDA would definitely be one. I actually do have some long-term holdings in Bitcoin. I did buy Bitcoin when it was down at 17,000, which is pretty nice. I literally bought the bottom, I think, by 1 or 2,000. I bought Ethereum at 1,300, I believe. Speaking of, what is that at? 3,000. Nice. So that's kind of the only long-term holds I have. But also I go to rags to riches here. I go talk to Pookie. I go talk to Quench. I go talk to Shy. Those are guys that I now have kind of in my network, and all of you guys in the Discord, you have too. That's who I go to. I mean, they've proven, especially like Shy freaks me out. Pookie's really, really good at what he does. They're great. So that's who I go to. Tesla 340 calls 100,000 volume today. Wow. Considering how expensive they are, that's kind of surprising. Well, you guys have any other questions, or do y'all want to call it early? I don't want to keep you here too late. I'm tired. I've had a long day, but my job is to be here for y'all. Swung 340. What expiration, TK? Awesome, Gerald. Thank you. I am happy to have you, dude. I'll do a little walkthrough with you tomorrow. Make sure, do you see the channels and all that? You may need Nikki to set you up, so it may not happen until early tomorrow morning. This week, well, that's good. I mean, it's kind of a YOLO, TK, so that they should be not super, super expensive. Well, it sounds like you timed it right with Elon getting appointed. So best of luck to you. I think you're going to be all right. SoFi on YouTube. Yeah, T Frost, thank you for being here. I hope you come to more. I don't think I've seen you in here before. SoFi, massive move here. I'm not a huge fan of SoFi simply because it's just been beaten down so hard. Is there some money to be made here short term? Yeah, Chad, take care. I'm about to get out of here too. Is there some money to be made in the short term? Sure. I think SoFi, a big reason this was up was, or at least had some traction back in here, was the student debt relief plan from Biden. That's definitely not going to happen under Trump. Again, I don't know much about them. I wish, fundamental wise, I don't. But if you want some technicals, $13 is going to be important for you. This like 1150 area is going to be important for you, and then $10 will be important as well. So mark those out. Next, obviously, is going to be today's high, $15, and then above that, this kind of has some room to go up to about 16, and then I would say about 17. So every dollar level to me is going to be decently important to keep in mind. But again, with these real cheap stocks that go on these big runs, you got to be careful, right? Because there's going to be the pullbacks. So I wouldn't be trying to buy this, right after in 4 or 5 days. It's gone from $9 to almost 15. Right? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, TK, I bet. Anything else, y'all? If not, we'll call it. Looks like some people left here at a Discord, so I don't want to keep you guys too long. Then we had the time change. Yeah, that's true. I know, right? Yeah, I'm coming into the end of this semester, so I mean, I'm absolutely slammed. It's been long, but almost done. And you guys are going to get Ethan Christmas trading. I'm going to be up at 5 hours for the market open, just itching to trade. Not up till 12 doing homework the night before, Almost done though. One more semester and I'm out. And then what? Trade or be homeless. All right, y'all. Well, it looks like things are slowing down. Gerald, if you have anything, just DM me. Let me add you here, so you don't get added by like a scammer or anything. So I just added you, Gerald. T Frost, I'll add you as well, just because I loved your question tonight, and I don't want you to be added by a scammer either. Because when you join big chat rooms like this, you're bound to have people that make fake accounts to try to take money from you. So please don't fall for that. Yeah, so there you go. You guys can add me there. Do I wait for an email, Gerald? I am not 100% sure because I haven't been on that side of things, but I can promise you everything's going to be fine before market open tomorrow. I already sent a message in about you, so no need to worries. You will be fine. If it's not done momentarily, it'll be done before the morning, I can promise. So don't worry about that. Typically, we have someone in here that kind of like gets you all set up, ask you questions, make sure you're good, just so random people aren't just getting thrown in. So again, don't worry. We're gonna promise you we're gonna get taken care of. All right, y'all. Well, I think I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for coming as always. Again, I'm not live trading in the morning, but I will be in the chats. I'll be mainly in my coaching corner as always. If you need anything else, always feel free to DM me or just do @Ethan in the chats, and I'll be there for you. So you have a good rest of the night, and let's make some money tomorrow. NVDA 150 calls. Buy them later.